Hi everyone, this is Catherine here from the Connection Club, bringing you some information to help you throughout this period we're all going through the pandemic. So I decided that I would like to bring you what is known as the Calm Collection. So conversation and tips on all things calm, and to help you get into a state of calm or create calm within your day-to-day activities to help everyone through this period. And I've got a special guest on. Her name's Liz Dingle. She's actually a mindset coach and she is a very good friend of mine, and she currently facilitates the Thinking into Results program, which is all about helping people into a more positive mindset. And we actually did a short video before Easter about that, which is going to be posted on YouTube very soon, so I hope you can watch it. And one of the things that came up was about the practice of meditation, and I just wanted to talk with Liz a little bit more about that, go a little bit deeper into that, and just sort of find out some tips and techniques that we can all sort of implement in our day-to-day activities. Welcome, Liz.
Thanks, Kath.
How are you?
Very good. Thank you.
Yeah. Good to see you, and we'll get into it just in a moment, but first of all I just wanted to quickly run through some of the history of meditation, which it has a long history within culture, and I actually didn't know a lot about it, but I am incredibly interested and have always loved history. So something that I recently discovered, that its origins actually started in India, which you may, perhaps people might realise that, dating back to 5,000 to 3,500 BC, which is a very long time ago. So there was some wall arts where people were seated in meditative postures with their eyes half closed, and that's where some of the original ideas about meditation were first introduced into history. And then moving through 1500 BC through the Hindu India, that's where it sort of became more evident and written down. And then through the 6th and 5th centuries through China and Buddhist India, and also there's lots of references throughout history to Japan, Korea, Jewish traditions, Islamic traditions, so a very, very long history. And it came sort of about in the Western culture in the 17th and 18th centuries, and right up until now, which most people probably would have heard of Deepak Chopra and Eckhart Tolle. They're probably some of the more modern people teaching us about meditation. So as you can see, Liz, an amazing history. Like, people can go and find out more about that if they want to, but that was really interesting news to me, and I'm sure it probably is to a lot of people. And something that is so ingrained within our cultures, I think, is something that we should be doing much more of. So can you tell me a little bit about what you do and how you implement meditation into your life and to the life of your clients who you help in your courses?
Yes, I use meditation to help people to get into a more positive mindset. And particularly I've been doing this throughout the coronavirus since it started, but it's really about helping you stop negative thinking and breaking the cycle of negative thinking and moving into positive thinking. And I think I've struggled with meditation over the times because I've always tried to stop my mind from thinking, and I find it quite hard to just reach that point. I know a lot of people do reach that point. I think you've reached that point as well with your meditation. But so what I do in order to relax is really help create an image of what I want, rather than thinking about and worrying about the fears of what I don't want. And always it puts me in a good, positive mindset. So when I get up in the morning, I will often sit just in a chair very quietly, and I'll just start to think about what my ideal life would look like. What are my goals? What does my life look like with my goals achieved? And then just really try and create the image of what that looks like. And I do this for my clients every time we do a call. We always do a 5-minute meditation where I ask them to, release all of the negative thoughts that they've been carrying around and to breathe in their pure, true potential. And then once they've got into a relaxed state, I ask them to think of what they want their life to look like, to think of how their life would look if their goal was achieved, their current goal was achieved, and to create an image in their mind of that so that it starts to change the way that you think. Because you're just concentrating on something that you want rather than what you don't want, and just spending some time in that image, creating that image, breathing and relaxing. And when you come out of the meditation, you release it knowing that you've already activated it, because basically when you've seen it in your mind, you can be confident that it's going to come to fruition because you've already seen it in your mind, because whatever you can see in your mind you can hold in your hand basically. And you come out of the meditation, let go of it, and know that it will come to you through like what I call a bridge of happenings, and things will occur in your life to bring that goal towards you.
Great. That sounds fantastic. So, I personally often do meditations in the evening, and I know a lot of people do them in the morning. Do you prefer to do them in the morning or the evening, or does it matter sort of when people do these sorts of things?
I think it does. I actually think it is really important, if you can, to do it early in the morning as the sun is rising. They say that is the best time to really connect with who you are, your true potential, as the day is sort of starting to break. So it's really 5 o'clock, I've heard, is a really good time to meditate. I find it extremely hard to get up at 5 o'clock. Yeah.
Everyone, but yeah.
Yeah, it's not easy, but apparently that is a good time for connecting with universal intelligence and your inner self. But even if it's 7:30 or anything like that, it's okay. But it's just during a time that everything's peaceful and quiet helps, because you're wanting to create that within your own body. Often if you've got children, they start getting up and, running around the house. It's just impossible for me anyway to be able to meditate with noise around me. But also at night, I meditate after my boys have gone to bed and everything is quiet in the house, and I will always try and just do a 5-minute sit quietly meditation, because when you go to sleep, you want to be having positive thoughts. And if you haven't meditated, you're often thinking about all the things that had happened during the day that didn't go well. But once you meditate and you start thinking about what you want, then you're going to take those thoughts into your sleep. And that's really important, to go into sleep in a positive mindset. Because if you go into sleep in a negative mindset, you are much more likely to wake up in a negative mindset the next day.
Yeah, okay. That sounds very interesting and a great tip for everyone. I know, like what you sort of described earlier sounded like more like a guided meditation, but I know that there are other types of meditation where people might just focus on their breath, or they might sort of do a scan of different body parts and things like that. Do you have any experience with those ones as well?
I do. I just did one yesterday. I believe this is more about stopping the thinking. It's about strengthening one of your mental faculties, which is called will. So your mental faculties include like your imagination, your intuition, your reason, your memory, your will, and your perception. And so to strengthen these, they're like mental muscles. So you have to actually practice to strengthen them. They don't just happen. And that's why some people have very weak mental faculties. And I felt like I had weakness in will, because when you do the meditations where you're concentrating on something, it takes a lot of will to actually keep your concentration on it and not allow your mind to then go off onto something else that's, you know, playing on your mind. So they're really good to do, and there's a few different ways you can do it. You can do it with a candle, so staring at a candle and just like really looking at the way the candle moves, and just becoming one with the candle. And every time your mind goes off to think about something, like what you should be doing later, or whether you're, you know, worrying about something, you just bring your mind back onto the candle and you just stare at the candle. The other one is a dot, so that's what I was doing yesterday. There was a we had a piece of glitter, a dot glitter on the floor, and I took it and I put it in a spot and I just stared at it for about 10 minutes, and I actually felt really good after that.
Sounds like goodwill. Yeah, goodwill.
Yeah, I felt really good. I actually stared at the dot for a long time, and then I closed my eyes because I could still see it, because there was light around it. So I closed my eyes, I could still see the dot, and then I just made it bigger and bigger in my mind, the dot, until it became huge, like a massive moon. And I just started thinking how, you know, if you could stare at that dot and make it the most important thing right at that moment, that it could take over all of the other things that you're thinking about. So it was almost like I was staring at the moon, you know, massive moon. So that's good. And yeah, the body parts is good too. I love that. I think, is it Joe Dispenza? He does lots.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, he does lots. Yeah.
Yeah, on the body part. But that's good too, because you're concentrating on a body part. That means you're not thinking about things that are irrelevant. And it helps relax your entire body, and it helps you get in contact with your body mind as well. It's a really good thing to do before you go to sleep, to help you fall to sleep as well.
Yeah, cool. They're great. Thank you. I had a quick look at the Cambridge Dictionary to get a definition of what meditation was, and this I thought was quite a simple one. It was said the act of giving your concentration to only one thing, either as a religious activity or as a way of becoming calm or relaxed, which is probably those methods we were just talking about. And I thought, just as you were discussing, you know, the ones of looking, say, at the candle or whatever, I was thinking, you know, a bit of a meditative practice for me is actually having a cup of tea. And I thought for, like, you know, mums or dads who are very busy and dealing with so much going on at this time and homeschooling everything, they could even just sit down with a cup of tea and stare out the window for 5 minutes, you know, and have 5 minutes to themselves and look at something outside. I thought that would probably seem like quite a meditative practice.
It would. The other thing you could do with that is what you do a lot, which is gratituding. So you could make a decision that every time you had a cup of tea or a coffee, that you sat there and meditated on what you're grateful for. Because often when you're in homeschooling, which I've been in myself, you can be, you know, you can get quite angry and frustrated and worried and think that, you know, you can also feel stuck, and you know, your body's just not coping because it's not used to doing this thing. Yeah. But yeah, by sitting down with a cup of tea or coffee and deciding, okay, I'm having a coffee, I need to be grateful. What can I be grateful for? You're going to take your mind to those things, away from this stress that you're feeling, and into, you know, what am I really grateful for? How can I live gratefully through this? And how can I be grateful for even the coronavirus and what opportunities it's presenting to me right now?
Yeah, that sounds great. I mean, that's a really amazing attitude and way of looking at things, because everyone is experiencing challenging times. And yeah, what Liz and I are kind of trying to do here is give people tools that they can use to manage their minds, which we know at times can get away from us and create anxiety and fear within us, which then can obviously have other sorts of effects on the body and our actions. So the whole point of this is to try and implement strategies that can put you into a calming state. And often too, people in calming sort of states can then have really amazing ideas about things they might want to do, or, you know, they might be able to solve a problem that they perhaps, you know, hadn't thought about in some sort of way before. Have you experienced with things like that, Liz, with
Yes,
meditation?
and that I love that, because that is the point of, becoming quiet and silent within your body, because what you can do is you need to ask questions. So if you're frustrated, you might want to ask a question, but don't ask a negative question, ask the positive version of that question. So just say you're going to go into a meditation and you're frustrated about something, for example. I'm just trying to think of something that, you might want to know how to be more healthy during this time when you feel so stressed,
Yeah, which is very important.
Yeah, and you might be eating more than you usually do, and you might want to, you might be going, oh, I'm just going to meditate to try and stop feeling this way. But then you can ask the question is, how can I be the healthiest I can be during this time, during coronavirus? What other things can I do that will enable me to be healthier than I've ever been before? So just asking a really positive question and then getting very quiet and listening for the answer. And often if you can ask a question, go into meditation, quiet your mind, you'll find that the answers come to you. They just pop into your mind. And you might think, oh, I just really now feel like going for a walk. And, you go for a walk, or you might take the kids for a bike ride, or, there'll be ideas that come to you. If you ask the question, the answer is always there. But sometimes we're so full of anxiety and fear and worry that we can't hear the answers to what we really want.
Yeah.
So I think that's really good.
Yeah, great. That's excellent. Thank you very much. I really appreciate your time. And Liz and I are thinking of actually doing a meditation online soon, which people can listen to. And it would be sort of Liz probably leading the meditation and myself participating, and taking us to a place that we all love, probably the beach or somewhere lovely, serene and calm. The whole point of what we're doing here is to help people create states of calm within their day-to-day activities. And we'll probably bring that to you in a few weeks or days. But I just wanted to thank you, Liz, for your time. I really appreciate it. And just one more question, like I know you have children and lots of parents with kids, at home, and obviously you're very limited in what they're able to do outdoors and stuff. And have you ever done meditation with your children, or
we've done
sort of help the kids?
We've done more like a nighttime. We might be lying in bed. We've done a positive affirmations before bed. So,
oh yeah, that's great.
We used to do it more. We should do it. You've just made me remember it. But we should do it more often. But we basically said the same thing every night before we went to sleep, and it was about how we believed anything was possible if you're prepared to, put your mind to something and decide you're going to do it, and just some really positive affirmations about what we love, that we love each other, we love our family, we love that, we love our animals, and just like so that they're in a mindset of thinking about what they love rather than worrying about, is tomorrow going to be really boring again? What am I going to be doing tomorrow? How long can't I see my friends for? Getting really anxious, and it makes it harder for them to go to sleep. So if you ask a child to think about all the things they love before they go to bed, well, that acts like a meditation anyway, because their mind are going to the right spots. But the other thing I was going to mention about how you said about the meditation on the ocean or something like that, anyone can do that. Like all you have to do is sit down and think about one thing that you love that's quite general. You can say one thing that you love about nature and start from there. So if you love the ocean, which I absolutely love the ocean, so I can start there.
Me too.
Every time. You just sit really quietly and say, I love I really love the ocean. And then you can ask yourself, what do I love about the ocean? And then you can say things like, I love the smell of the ocean. I love the sound of the ocean. I love the sound of the waves slapping in. I love it when it's raining and I can hear the rain, dropping onto the ocean. I love the wind when it's stormy, and it just leads you in a direction that just gives you these amazing feelings of being in that environment, because your mind doesn't know whether it's true or not. Your mind just accepts whatever you're feeling. So if you're feeling like you're at the ocean, and those feelings of, I love walking along the beach when it's a stormy day,
I understand. I mean, I just sort of I actually had visions of the beach that I go to quite a lot, but I haven't been to for a long time. And it's amazing because the ocean naturally relaxes people too, Most people will just very quickly feel very relaxed thinking about anything to do with the ocean. So that's really fantastic and excellent. And thank you for that. I really appreciate it. And Liz is available on her LinkedIn page. You can Google her. As mentioned, she facilitates the Thinking into Results program, which is through the Proctor Gallagher Institute, which is headed by the very famous Mr. Bob Proctor and his CEO, Sandy Gallagher. Is that correct?
Yeah.
So you probably know Bob from the movie The Secret, and it's an incredible course that Liz facilitates, and it helps people transform their careers and other areas, starting businesses and all sorts of things. So please go to her page. She has lots of really interesting resources available now for people to look at, which are really beneficial in these uncertain times. And I want to thank her very much. And we hope to bring you some more relevant information very soon. So thank you, Liz.
No worries. Thanks, Kath. I loved it. Really good.
Yeah. Thank you. See ya.
Bye.
Bye.